Hey there, I'm Tyler Lunsford, and you're watching a review of Cohen's Bipolar. What is up, viewers people? My name is Tyler Lunsford, and welcome back to another magic trick review here on the channel. Now, if you're new here, then definitely please consider subscribing and take a look around the channel at my past reviews. Now, if you are new here, like I said, thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Just thanks for spending some time with me today. Seriously, thanks. You didn't have to click on this video, you didn't have to click on my face, but I'm glad you did. I'm glad you're here. So, I'd like to thank Toby Trailer, actually. He's one of my patrons, so if you'd like to help support the channel, definitely head on over to Patreon. It's the top link in the description of every video, where you can, like I said, help support the channel. Now, if you donate to the channel or donate, become a patron, what you get to do is, depending on what tier you're at, but Toby is actually a VIP member, and what he gets is a video every month of a trick that he requests that is $30 or less. Now, he chose for me to review Bipolar this month, so I'm very thankful for Toby, and I'm thankful for all my patrons, so thank you so much if you are a patron, and if you're not, then you can head on over there if you would like to. What a horrible wink. Anyways, I don't want to waste too much time. I just want to go ahead and get into this review of Bipolar. And once again, thanks to Toby Trailer, but let's get right into it. First off, you need to know what actually is Bipolar. Well, Bipolar is a cool color-changing card that actually changes on both sides in real time. So you don't have to, change one side then change the other. Both sides are changing at the same time. You get a Joker that's a blue back Joker, and then the Joker, when you toss it up into the air, changes to a face card that now has a red back. It's a really cool color-changing card, like I said earlier, and I just love that you could do this in a mirror and people can be watching from all sides. It's angle-proof because it does change on every side at the same time. I love it. There's several routines taught on the download that you get with this, and let's go ahead and get right into what you receive if you decide to purchase it. What do you receive if you decide to purchase it? Well, you'll be getting a nice little plastic bag, and inside that bag is your Bipolar gimmick. It comes pre-made, so you don't have to do any type of construction unless it breaks because, well, that's just the nature of this gimmick. But it should last you for several performances, and as long as you take care of it, you shouldn't have to repair this too frequently. It is a 40-minute tutorial video, almost 40 minutes, and on that you'll learn multiple different variations and routines for performing this change, whether it's like a ambitious card routine or whether it's a prediction, stuff like that. What do you receive if you decide to purchase Bipolar? Well, you'll be getting a nice little plastic bag, and in that plastic bag is your Bipolar gimmick. Now, that gimmick comes pre-made. All you have to do is just pull it out of the package and then learn how to use it once you watch the 40-minute tutorial video. Now, on that tutorial video, they teach you a couple of different ways to use this gimmick as far as routines go, whether it's like an ambitious card or like a prediction, stuff like that. So you learn different ways to use it. But one thing I will say is they don't include any materials to replace the gimmick or basically rebuild it or repair it, actually, if it breaks on you, because just the nature of this gimmick, it is a little fragile, and you will have to repair it over time if you use this a lot. Now that you know what Bipolar is and what you receive, let's talk about a few more questions you may have, such as how difficult is Bipolar to perform? It's not difficult to do at all. This is one of the easiest tricks you're going to do. The gimmick practically is self-working. I mean, it is self-working. All you have to do is just tell it when you're ready to go, toss it up in the air, and then it will change. It's that simple, that easy, and you won't have to really spend any time practicing the actual change. All you have to practice is your pattern, so like your scripting, and what routine you want to do with this color-changing card. How are the angles for Bipolar? The angles are great. This is a completely surrounded color-changing card that you can do, right? Like, it's angle-proof. You can perform it completely surrounded, so that answers the angles question. Is there any DIY, initial setup, anything you have to do? No, this is ready out of the package, but you will have to do some DIY, do-it-yourself work if you want to repair this gimmick if it breaks on you. Now, I did mention this earlier, but I will mention it one more time. You do not receive, any materials to rebuild the gimmick, so you'll have to supply that for yourself, but you will have to build it, and it's not like a difficult, repair or anything, but it is going to take some time. They teach it on the tutorial video. No worries about, being left in the dark on how to do it. You just got to get the supplies to do it. Is this examinable? No, the Bipolar gimmick is not examinable. You can do a switch if you like to, but they cannot examine the actual Bipolar gimmick that does the change. No, they can't handle that. Are there any negatives to performing Bipolar? Yes, my biggest negative with this is that you have to repair this gimmick with stuff that they didn't supply you, right? I'm not mad that you have to repair the gimmick, because I understand gimmicks of this nature do break on you over time, right? I'm not upset with that. I understand that. But what I don't understand is why you wouldn't include at least enough materials to repair it once, in case someone breaks it when they're practicing with it, just trying it out for the first time. Include stuff to repair it, right? You don't want to get this in the mail, you break it first try, just because you don't really know, like, how this gimmick is working, which if you watch the tutorial, which you should do first, you still might, break it just because of the nature of it, and then you can't repair it for, let's say, a week if you have to wait for it to ship, right? So it's just kind of, it was a pet peeve of mine that if something needs to be repaired, at least include enough supplies to do it once, especially if it's something that, like, people don't just have lying around the house. Now, you may have this material already if you're like a gimmick builder, if you love making gimmicks. Like, I have it around. I like making gimmicks. But for the people who do not have this material lying around, I'd be upset. Another negative I'll mention is the sound/lighting. There is a little bit of sound when the gimmick does its thing and does the change, and you just gotta be a little bit, I'd say, cautious about your lighting, because depending on where you're at, you might be able to see something when you bring out the gimmick initially, or maybe when you're just holding it after the change. So you want to be careful of your lighting and make sure that you have at least a little bit of background noise going on when you're doing the change. What are the positives to performing Bipolar? I love that this gimmick can be performed 360, right? You can perform this surrounded, and I love when you can just toss up the car and it changes on both sides at the exact same time. Those are the few positives that it has for me. I do love the visual on it. It looks really cool. What should this retail as? Well, this currently retails as $20 US, and is that a fair price? Absolutely, it is a fair price if they would include supplies to repair the gimmick if it breaks on you the first time, or at least once, I just talked about this, but I just wish that they would have included that. That would have made it a fair price. I don't think $20 is a fair price when it doesn't include the supplies you need to remake it. I don't know, that's just me. I think it's a great price if it included the supplies. I'm just really annoyed about that, if you can't tell. What would I give this out of 10? I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. The reason it's getting that score is because I do love the visual on this change. Don't get me wrong. I love that it's angle proof, and I love that it changes on both sides at the same time. That's really cool. But they didn't include supplies to rebuild the gimmick if it breaks on you. And they didn't, that's just really my main negative with it. But you also have to worry about your sound and your lighting depending on where you are, which aren't the biggest deal, but I just want to give it that rating, 7 out of 10, because I do love the visual. Should you pick this up? If you want a cool color changing car that changes on both sides at the same time, then yes, I recommend this because the visual does look really good in real life and in person. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd like to purchase Bipolar, the link for it will be in the description down below. Now, also in the description is a link to my Instagram page. There you can follow me on Instagram at TylerLunsfordMagic. There I do all sorts of, maybe it's behind the scenes, maybe it's a performance, maybe it's like a Q&A, all sorts of stuff. I love to get your guys' input on what you want to see on the channel and what you want to see me do. So thanks so much for being here, and thank you to Toby Trailer for allowing me to do this review, because he is a very giving patron. So thank you to everyone who watched this video, and hopefully I'll see you in another review that I post sometime soon. See ya! Hey there, I'm Tyler Lunsford, and you're watching a review of Cohen's, and I just threw that way out of frame.